And we are back. Welcome back to the King's Report this Monday, March 6, 2017. I'm your host, Hyungjin Sean Moon, the second king of China, feeling very floral today. Very floral today. I was joking to the ring with the queen that I need to bring my golden royal rose oil for the studio here. We are joined in the third hour by our very dapper and stylish très beau gentleman, Pierre. Tardy, looking fantastic and dapper in his pinstripe suit and his green bow tie. Pierre, talk to us about what is happening in France. We know, of course, you are a Frenchman. And give us a little picture, give our audience a picture of what is going on in France. Why the globalists are losing there, why the political Satanists are losing there, why Marine Le Pen is skyrocketing in her polls. Also, you talked about the 3 generations of the Le Pens, which are working the sovereignty candidate Providence in France. Give us a little background of what is happening in France as a French person, who is, of course, an American citizen now, but from France. Go ahead, Pierre Tardy.
But the main story is that the predatory class is trying to steal the elections, and they are rigging the game, and I don't know how many people are aware of it. So they have been working for several years to prepare a Obama-type candidate, and his name is Emmanuel Macron. He's like a new Christian figures that is 39 years old. He's married to a lady who is 64 years old.
He's married to a 64-year-old lady and he's 39?
Yeah. Of course, they have no children. And he came from the bank Rothschilds. And he went to the Bilderberg group. And he's also a Franc-maçon. And he is their new game because now the socialists are so weak they cannot win this election. So they came up with a new narrative that this candidate, he has a movement he started 7 months ago, which is called En Marche, mean going forward. And he said, I'm not from the left, I'm not from the right. So he's coming with a new story and people feel, oh, this is nice, we're going to be united. And he talked about feelings and he talked about the sovereignty of Europe. And he tells people not to be afraid.
Oh, sovereignty of Europe, not sovereignty of France.
No.
Sovereignty of Europe.
Yes. And people actually misunderstand Europe and European Union. So nobody can be against Europe because it's a civilization, but they don't understand European Union is like the Soviet Union. So he's open to immigrations. He's for gay marriage, and he's for but he's basically nobody. He has no history. He has been 2 years. He was a minister of economy, and the last 2 years, the media, which are behind him, put many magazine pictures promoting him, and so people actually cannot go to his past because there is no past, and he has a lot of money behind. We don't know where the money comes from. With people thinking of Saudi Arabia, so it's the same as what happened in America in November. We're going through the same scenario, and we have the candidate for sovereignty, which is Marine Le Pen. So Marine Le Pen's her father started a party over 30 years ago, and they are actually for the sovereignty of France. So we have the same fight between sovereignty and the globalist predator class. And Marine Le Pen has been 25 years. She's 47 years old, and she knows the files very well. She knows the details of everything, and she is reaching the blue-collar class, the farmers, and they expect her to have 28% of the electorate for the first round, where we have 5 candidates. So she's...
Now, how many rounds are there?
There's 2.
There's 2 rounds?
5 candidates for the first round, and 2 will be left, the 2 top one.
Okay.
So April 23rd is the first round, and May 7th, 2 weeks later, is the second round.
Okay, so that's coming up very, very soon, isn't it?
Exactly.
Okay.
So they will have some TV debate on March 20th. They don't have so many debates like in America, and they will have another debate between the two rounds. So what happened, she will be in the first one for the first round, but on the second round, we may have the left and the right come together against her because their party was really demonized for so many years. People are afraid because if I vote for the National Front, which is the party of Marine Le Pen, then I'm a racist or I'm really a bad person.
So they use the same tactic. They say, if you vote for Le Pen, you are a racist.
Yes.
If you vote for Le Pen, you are a homophobe.
Yeah, everything.
And you're Islamophobe.
Exactly.
And you hate black people.
Exactly. You just like white people.
Okay, so you're a white supremacist.
Yes.
Okay, they use the same tactic.
So basically, we don't know. People may be voting for her, but they don't want to say it. So we don't know, but the polls can be all rigged. And but as we get closer and closer, things are coming every day, and we will see what happens. I always believe that God is in control here, and things will happen. For instance, the French government and the EU is starting to prosecute Marine Le Pen and another candidate, and people are starting to be aware that all this prosecution is actually trying to influence the election. So I hope people will wake up, and at the end, the second round, they will realize we have nothing to lose, like Obama said to the black people, we have nothing to lose. Finally, we should try them because the other side is left or right, and we lost every time.
Now, what do you say to the people who feel like they have no voice and they're powerless? Like the people who give up on the voting process, say, it doesn't even matter anymore. Even if I vote, it doesn't even matter. Like people who did that in Brexit. All these people in the UK felt like it doesn't even matter. But if I'm going to vote one last time, it's going to be this time. And they actually went out. They went out and they voted in such huge numbers, even though they were voting fraud. The numbers were so huge that Brexit happened. Isn't that the same case with Brexit? The French people have to take responsibility. Stop laying on the sidelines and get in the game and say, hey, even though there's voter fraud, we're just going to have to swamp them with so many pro-Le Pen votes that they're going to have to let this candidate in and dismantle the EU and do Brexit. Yeah, Pierre.
Many people said it doesn't do anything good to vote. It doesn't help.
Right.
So they're sitting home. So I'm hoping that this will happen. And also, she's the first woman president candidate. So I think she may have a woman votes. We don't. That's interesting.
Oh, but the left doesn't like all women.
Yeah. So we may have a big surprise. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, it's in terms of French people. Are the people in the polls, like what some of the mainstream media, how are they trying to manipulate the public? Are they constantly going after Le Pen? Are they all constantly trying to do scandals? Do you see when you watch the French news that they are heavily covering the globalist candidate over Le Pen?
Yeah, the Macron candidate, he gets more coverage than all the other candidates.
And then lots of propaganda?
Yeah, constantly. So he's really the puppets, and this is what's happening.
And he's bank funded. Now,
Yeah.
in the U.S., we have, for example, 6 major conglomerates, major international organizations that own all the media in America. Same in France.
Same. Yeah, actually, when they report the American news, is only one. What we hear here, the left.
It's the same rhetoric.
So the people are brainwashed.
And then it's the same Bilderberg group in the end that is running all the media. They have all selected media that comes to them and that grovels at their feet because they are running all those media outlets and they create the narrative per meeting for the next agendas of the next couple of months. And they're able to. These are people that can literally make nations rise and fall. I mean, the head of the Federal Reserve goes there. I mean, prime ministers, presidents. I mean, these are the people literally in charge of all the levers of power. And they're gathering in secret against international political law. Talking about things in secret in private meetings with no media allowed. And we know that this candidate in France, what's his name?
Emmanuel Macron.
Macron.
Yeah.
He is a total insider of the cult of death, the cult of political Satanism, the cult of ruling over innocent people with centralized force and coercion, total predatory elite class. And we don't know anything about his history. What was his background in terms of education and things like that?
Oh, he went to the famous
Schools in France?
which for the government. Yeah.
Okay, so basically he had a government track the whole way, and had an elite track the entire way. He's part of Bilderberg. He's part of the super elite international class, banking class.
Yeah, Goldman Sachs.
He worked for Goldman Sachs, Rothschild banks. So this guy is super dangerous predator for France. And Marine Le Pen is the one, she's the candidate who says, hey, we got to pull out of the EU. We got to pull out of the Soviet Union. We got to pull out of this EU, European Union. This is killing our Europe. And she was at church the other day. She was making public her Christian root and heritage, right?
Yes.
Because this is also what France is losing. They're losing a sense of their own history and civilization. Nobody's learning French history now. They're only learning political correctness and political multiculturalism.
Yeah, Emmanuel Macron is talking about multiculturalism.
Okay,
and
that's a new
he's saying that French culture has been influenced by other cultures, so we should be open. And Marine Le Pen, she's talking that French culture is special.
There's no French special culture according to Emmanuel.
Yeah, it is, but it is influenced by others, so we have to mix with.
It's relativized.
Huh?
It's relativized.
Yeah.
And of course now, and you also said they're trying to switch some of the Christian holidays to Islamic holidays.
Yeah, basically they're trying to take some of the Christian holidays and put the Muslim holiday.
Because they're supposed to be multicultural and tolerant and open.
Yeah.
They just don't know they're letting them pour in from war-torn Islamic radical areas, hundreds of thousands per year, which France is doing, will only increase the separate parallel societies that you see in Sweden, will increase the Muslim ghettos that are there, that bring in their antipathies and conflicts from different countries that they come in. They don't just enter the multicultural utopia and transform. They bring in all those historical animosities, antipathies, those historical conflicts, those historical battles and hatreds right into the middle of modern France, and only aid to implode its own civilization. France needs to get back to its roots, back to its Christian roots. It needs to embrace itself as having a special and unique civilization.
Yeah, they have over 200,000 immigrants a year.
Wow.
So it's,
wow.
And they are taking over.
Sweden is doing 100,000. So
they
are
taking over the small villages.
Wow.
And start their own
that's
Sharia community. So it is.
It's a takeover. It's a total conquest.
Yeah, it's a replacement.
What is the population of France approximately?
About 65 million.
Oh, it's only about 65 million,
Yeah.
so it's a little bigger than South Korea.
Yeah, it's the size of Texas. Size of
Texas.
Yeah.
So it's about 20 million more than Korea. You let in 200,000 per year. That is a major population that will start paralleling your society and bringing a very radical political system in from war-torn areas, radicalized Islamic areas.
But the EU is actually making France poorer, and the farmers are over 1,000 farmers are committed suicide.
Of course, because poor, you have to make them poor, you have to make them deindustrialized so that they're easier to control, and then you put them on welfare and make them, vassals of the state, make them wards of the state, make them slaves of the state. It is a neo-feudalistic model that they're pursuing. And they're open about it. This is how arrogant they're open about the neo-colonialist, neo-feudalistic model that they actually desire. A neo-serfdom, which they desire. A super elite class and everybody else has serfs. That's how it was in the past.
But Italy is bankrupt. Portugal is bankrupt. Spain is in very bad shape. And then Greece, of course.
Greece is looking for more loans from the IMF, you were saying?
Yeah, but they want to go to the IMF. So the IMF will take over. And France is next. So it's going to go very bad very quickly.
Okay. Thank you, Pierre, for that update. We'll be back with more on Europe with Pierre Tardy after this short break.